And welcome back. In this video we're going to be installing the head on the block, and as you can see I'm using a Pro gasket. Now I know some people aren't going to like that and you're probably throwing your sunny delight at the screen right now, but I have faith in it, so it's what I'm going to use. This is a MLS gasket, which stands for multi-layer steel. So this one is actually for a Honda CR-V, which is good for up to 88 millimeters, so it's why I'm measuring it here, so we should get a reading close to that. Now I know it's kind of hard to see here, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is freeze the frame right here. And again, I'm just going to rotate the image and enhance. And there you go, we're at 87.8, so that's close enough. The reason why we're using a Honda CR-V gasket is because, as you can see, it was at 88 millimeters and the cylinders have been bored out to 87.5. So if you want to stick to OEM or something equivalent, this is a perfect option. You may have noticed I was spraying brake parts cleaner into each of the holes of where the head bolts are going to go. What I did here is just spray them, let it sit for a little while. I turned the block over, let it drain out, and then I hit each hole with compressed air. And I just repeated this process a few times until I was satisfied with it. You really don't want any junk or debris trapped inside of there and just cause some problems later on down the road. Now that that's out the way, I'm going to go ahead and clean the surface of the block of where the head gasket is going to lay. And as you can probably tell, I spent a lot of time here. Once again, I'm using the coffee filters and brake parts cleaner, and just keep going over it and invest the time to get it nice and clean. Now that the surface is all cleaned up, we could go ahead and install these dowels. Now I picked up a new set because number one, they're so inexpensive, why wouldn't you replace them? And let's not focus on the fact that I actually lost the original ones, so that's kind of irrelevant at this point. As you can see, these just fell right into place, and they should like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and give them a few love taps, not that they really need to, but why not, right? Just don't go crazy with it. Now I can't stress it enough that you do not want to forget to install these dowels, because when you put your head on the block, these are the only things that keep everything aligned. The head bolts don't align anything, they just provide clamping force. So these dowels are really important, just don't forget them. Installing the head gasket, you could kind of see how there is potential for someone here to make a mistake, because all of the head bolt locations and everything do match up, but some of the ports and passages don't line up. So it's really important that you put this thing on the right way. I know it has writings and stamping on the gasket itself. If you put them facing upward, it's the wrong way. In my case, the stampings or the writings on the gasket had to be facing downward. And with that in place, you could see how the gasket and all the ports, everything matches up now. I picked up a set of ARP head studs, so let's go ahead and open this box up. There's many reasons to go with ARP, all the way from them being a higher quality product, all the way up to them being able to provide a higher or better, more consistent clamping force. But the main thing that caught my attention is that they could be reused. If you go with OEM bolts, they're torque to yield, meaning they're one-time use. So if you take them off, you have to throw them away and buy another set. And I don't really like that because it gets expensive. So that's what really caught my eye about the ARPs, that you could keep reusing them. Now here I am running each of the studs into the block and just checking the threads before I actually put the head on. I don't want any surprises when it comes time to clamping it down, so it's better to check them now. And as per the instructions from ARP, you have to clean all of the fasteners, the washers, and the nuts. So that's what I'm doing now. Thanks for joining now. You can follow right along at home. Now we're going to go and paint some happy little bushes here. All you have to do is just dab, twist, and pull. Dab, twist, and pull. Make those branches really pop. This is your world. Now let's go ahead and clean off our brush. Yeah, just like that. Get right in there. You're a naughty little brush, aren't you? Now I could grab the cylinder head and we're going to give it just like a final inspection and one more cleaning before it actually gets installed on the block. If you're interested in watching a video when I was assembling the head, I'll put a card in the top right hand corner right here. If you want to watch that, you can. And let's just go forward with the cleaning again with the brake parts cleaner and coffee filter. Like I said, it does a great job. So again, some more time taken right here just to get everything nice and clean. Here I'm just taking my time to try to align the head onto the two dowels that we already put on the block. It can be a little finicky, but it's not too difficult, and you're definitely going to notice once the head falls into place. With all the components clean and dried, we can now open up the ARP grease. Now you want to make sure you use only this grease and no other brand or type, because all of the ratings and specifications that ARP supplies you with are based off of using this exact grease that they put inside the box. Now of course you don't have to use a foam brush, but I'm using it to try to be a little bit neater and cleaner. As far as the washers, I really wasn't putting grease on both sides at this point because the shop towels that I have down were just going to absorb it. So I mainly only did one side, and when it came time to actually putting them on the cylinder head, I was going to go ahead and grease up both sides. Just as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to go ahead and grease both sides of the washer before I install it. And as far as the head studs, only one side of the studs has actual provisions to accept a hex socket. So obviously that's the side that's going to be facing up. And according to ARP's instructions, you're only supposed to put in the studs finger tight and just leave them at that. But that kind of seems a little sketchy to me. I'm not saying they didn't do their homework. Just this is my personal opinion, so do what you want on your build, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna go ahead and give it just a little turn. As you can see, I'm using a little screwdriver, so I'm not putting too much torque on it, but once it gets to the bottom, I just give it that little bit of extra turn, not going crazy with it. Here I am installing the nuts, and I'm just going to run them finger tight for now. I'm actually using a 13mm 12-point socket here, and it's not the correct socket to be using for this. And the reason for that is the socket's a little bit on the loose side, and I'll show you that in a second. What you want to use for an application like this is actually a 3/8 drive, and that's because I'm using a 3/8 drive torque wrench. So it's a 3/8 drive, 12-point, half-inch socket. That's a correct socket to use for these nuts, and I had to go out and buy that separate, but I would highly recommend getting the correct socket for this, because when it comes time to torque down these nuts and these head bolts, There's so much force that's going to be applied here that I guarantee you, if you're using a 13mm 12 point, you are just going to round off those nuts. If you are using OEM bolts, you're going to have to use a torque angle gauge like this one, and just follow all of the torque specs and sequences that Honda wants. Since I'm using ARP's head studs, you want to get to 80 foot-pounds in 3 equal increments. I started off a little weird, so I started off at 30 foot-pounds, moved up to 50 foot-pounds, and then finished at 80 foot-pounds. Now what I like to do is go over each fastener that I already torqued down after I'm done doing the complete set. For example, here I'm doing 30 foot-pounds, and once I finish the last fastener, go back to the first few and just check them, because you may find that they're now on the loose side. So I keep doing this for all the sequences. When I do the 50 foot-pounds, even though you did all of them, go over them once again to make sure they're all at 50 foot-pounds. And for each sequence, I did find that when I went back to the first ones, they were a little bit on the loose side. So just make sure you check all of them. And that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up, and maybe even consider subscribing if you want to keep up to date on this little build I have going on here. I think in the next video we're going to do, obviously we have no choice, the camshafts and timing components.